Hi there, this is Josh from Literary Gladiators, and today I am here with the 10 worst rated books that I've read according to Goodreads. I check the data as per the books that I've read and match them with the overall average rating. And kind of like the previous video, this has two different books from last year, one of which is a new read, and another one got on because of changing ratings, based off of the new ratings that went up and changed the structure of the list. But let's get right into the list. Unfortunately, the worst rated book that I've read, according to Goodreads, is Salem Pact by Carlotta Holton. And this has an average Goodreads rating of 2.8 stars. I gave it a 2-star rating, and this is out of a total of 5 ratings. Carlotta Holton is a great writer. She's a great friend of mine. I met her at an author festival. But I would like to read her other novels, and I think that if there are works that I would suggest by her, it would be her short story collections, Touching the Dead and Grave Matters. Perhaps the fact that this is marketed on the basis of The Turning Point. The story itself plays out very much like another Salem witch trial story, which I've read. I've read quite a few, and I've watched quite a few adaptations where television shows will have reenactments of the Salem witch trials, but The Crucible is probably the key story about the Salem witch trials. Moving on to the list of worst-rated books. The second worst-rated book that I read, according to Goodreads, is one that I do not have on me, and that is Blizzard by George Stone. I had recently found the book, but it's lying somewhere waiting to be donated. But it has an average Goodreads rating of 2.96. I gave it 1 star. And this is out of 46 ratings. The thing with Blizzard is the fact that it just introduced so many different scenarios, and there was no way, they didn't tie anything up, really. And the reading experience was very agitating and aggravating. The third worst-rated book that I read, according to Goodreads, is the new addition to the list. It's something that I read last year for a discussion on our channel, and that is Doctor Who Borrowed Time by Naomi Alderman. This has an average Goodreads rating of 3.12, and I gave it a rating of 2.5 stars. And this is out of 16 ratings. To me, the way it just didn't play out in a satisfactory way. I know that there are books within the Doctor Who franchise that have been satisfactory, but to me, this one was not. But the fourth worst rated book that I've read, according to Goodreads, is something that seems to be going up in the list among bad ratings. And it's one that I actually enjoyed, and that is Andrew's Brain by E.L. Doctorow. This has an average Goodreads rating of 3.21, and I gave it a 4-star rating. I thought it was very uniquely written, and I really liked the structure of the piece. I thought it was original, and I thought that the central character and his approach and the way that the process went were very outside of the box, but in a way that one can really see as being as as being reasonable to. The fifth worst rated book that I've read, according to Goodreads, is actually something that appeared on my top 10 list the year that I read it. And that is Great French Short Stories, edited by Paul Negri. And this has an average Goodreads rating of 3.22 stars. I gave it 4 stars, and this is at an average of 23 ratings. If for some reason I miss any of them, I'm going to have over here the statistical information. Average Goodreads rating, my rating, and total ratings. But I thought that this was a pretty good batch of French short stories that will provide you with the information that you need to know and give you a sample of some great French writers. I particularly liked, there's The Necklace by Guy de Maupassant, which is a French classic. The Attack on the Mill by Émile Zola is a great introduction to wanting to get more into Émile Zola. I really like his straightforward approach to the way that he writes his stories and his novels. I think that he is very simplistic and right to the point. I think that you have Micromegas by Voltaire, which I thought was a great short story. It was very comical. There's Prosper Marry Me, who actually uses the he refers to the military officers that are referred to by Caporelli. So it gives me a greater understanding of some family history, especially with the idea that last names were often created to refer to one's occupation or role in society. But I like this collection. I think that the Goodreads rating is misleading on this one. If there is one where the Goodreads rating is not misleading, it is for this sixth worst rated book that I've read according to Goodreads, and that is I Am the Mountain Mouse by Gianna Marino. This has an average Goodreads rating of 3.28 stars. I gave it a 1.5 star rating, and this is out of 153 ratings. The central mouse, the white mouse in the piece, is just a smug little piece of excrement. The way that he is so arrogant and takes advantage of his fellow mice. It's just not a very heartwarming collection of children's works. It's very irritating, more so. The seventh worst rated book that I've read, according to Goodreads, is Moscow in the 1930s by Natalia Gromova. And this has an average Goodreads rating of 3.33 stars. To my understanding, it improved, but I have it at 2.5 stars, and this is out of 6 ratings. This brings up some very good topics as far as literature in 30s Moscow is concerned, but I really didn't get anything out of it as far as learning more about major figures in Russian literature during this time, or Soviet literature, if you want to be more time-specific, is concerned. But it was a shame that I didn't get what I wanted to out of it, and thus I really can't recommend this as far as learning more about figures in Russian writing are concerned. The 8th worst rated book that I've read, according to Goodreads, is My Dog Tulip by J.R. Ackerley. This has an average Goodreads rating of 3.34, and I gave it 1.5 stars. This is out of a total of 1,705 ratings. What I was looking for in this piece was a heartwarming story about a man and his relationship with his dog, but we learn more about this man and his concerns about the dog's sexual activity, as well as the dog going to the bathroom. There really was not much else about the relationship between the two of them. I would have liked something more adventurous and maybe some conflict in there, but something that can overall say that this man cared for his dog and not this man put this dog on such a high pedestal to do what he wanted as far as breeding is concerned. The 9th worst rated book that I've read, according to Goodreads, is Your Heart Belongs to Me by Dean Koontz. This has an average Goodreads rating of 3.37. I rated it 2, and this is out of 15,892 ratings. I'm going to be releasing a review in a few weeks for The Eyes of Darkness, and I reviewed Your Heart Belongs to Me after I finished reading it in 2019, but I didn't really care for the direction in which this book went. And I mean, I'm happy that Dean Koontz is releasing original content, and this is original content per se, but I didn't like the direction that this book took, and I really didn't like the characters in this piece either. The 10th worst rated book that I've read, according to Goodreads, is a new addition to the list, and I think that it went onto the list because of the changing ratings and the addition of more negative ratings. And that is Every Last Lie by Mary Kubica. I read this as an ARC back in 2017, and it has an average Goodreads rating of 3.38. I gave it 3 stars, and there are 27,912 ratings. I thought that it was very adventurous, and it did keep me hooked. It had a great thriller aspect as far as driving the plot is concerned. I just did not like where this went, and I especially did not like Clara. I thought that Clara was really... I thought that she was very petty, very... she was an underachiever, but to me, she never really stepped up to the plate. She made her way through because she had to. she did genuinely care for her husband and her child, but she also made some really questionable choices that, to me, really questioned who she was as a character. This is told through the alternating perspectives of her and her husband in the past, which this is one of the more recent books that I read that was written from alternating perspectives based by chapter. The other one was a book like The Things We Keep by Sally Hepworth, which I also got an ARC copy of. So that is my list of 10 worst rated books that I've read according to Goodreads. Maybe for 2023 we'll see some different additions to both lists. Hopefully more on the best list, because I would like to read more great books. This one, hopefully I don't read as many bad books, but we'll just have to wait and see. Thank you for tuning into this video. If you haven't seen the best rated companion to this video for 2022, please, by all means, do so. And if you like what you see on our channel, please subscribe. If you like the video, give it a good old like. And if you want to continue the conversation, feel free to do so in the comments. If you really, really like what we do, please support us on our Patreon, for the money that we make will allow us to provide you, the viewer, with even more great content. I really hope you are enjoying the new videos on our channel, and I really hope that you are enjoying the new contributors, as well as the old contributors, because we have a lot more in store for you. For now, and as always, I encourage you to keep reading.